Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Aussie South African top 40 today? Now, I've just got the weekly chart up being Friday, and you can see we had a great week last week with a massive move, and then this week it's really just been all about ranging in this area. So that being said, I think the two areas we need to be concerned about for any form of direction is going to be the high and low of the current weekly bar. Okay, so let's just get down to the daily. So yesterday I said to you we'd be looking for shorts from this area here. Okay, and you'll see on the lower time frames it did work out kind of, but overshot that and didn't even pick another level before moving to the downside. So I'll show you the stop heights on the lower ones. But anyway, I got out on my own accord, didn't like what I was seeing. And if you were in for the short, you would have been stopped out if you were running a 150 pip stop loss. But then it did actually work out and move the downside. So kind of a frustrating day. What's concerning me now is this is now the fourth inside bar. Okay, I typically don't really focus on the tails on the outside inside bar. I'm really just looking at the body inside this body here. So it's another inside bar. The concern is that it being a long tail to the top with a red body, which always indicating a turn to the downside. And so I think that is the picture that we have at the moment. Is still very much range bound. So we are inside the previous week's bar as well, but we are pretty much in a range right now. You'll see there's a new line on my chart, which is the red line. I've been experimenting a little bit with the 40 moving average, just as a confirmation moving average, and it seems to be working pretty well, so I've left it in. And when I say working well, it's on certain time frames, and I'll explain it just now. Okay, so 4 hour has a pretty much a fairly large wedge that, or channel, I think more of a channel than a wedge, that broke. Alternatively, what we could do is we could look at it this way, okay, and look at it that way. But for me, right now, this was a profit taking I was looking for. It just didn't happen at the level I was expecting. I was expecting it to happen here, okay, and it basically went up and formed a new level, and I can't really see what was there to the left of me. If anything, I would have expected it to hit the underside of this level here. But be that as it may, it didn't happen. We still have this divergence, and we still got this grouping of the oscillator. So there is still a risk that this thing is going to move to the downside. However, this crossover here of the 20 and 200 has happened, and we are still above the 20 on the 4 hour, which remember, for me, above the 20 on the 4 hour indicates that we are in an uptrend. Okay, so looking at the hour, and I think here you'll see this is the level that we were looking for. We did, if you had an order in there, you would have been filled, but it didn't materialize much. I mean, you would have got around 200 points on that. I'd moved my stop down to entry pretty quickly, and then got out of the trade on the lower time frames. And the reason I got out was so you can see how far we shot past this level. So for me, when we move this far past the level, I get a bit worried. So I basically got out once it moved down to the downside here. Okay, now I'm on the 6-minute chart, and you can see how this 40 moving average, the red line, holds up price, and it works out even better when you look at it on the 12-minute. And you see how we bounced off there, and move to the upside. Okay, so that being said, what am I looking for at the moment? So the 4 hour does concern me, because basically the oscillators are concerning me, but you've got to park that and not focus on it, because that can stay overbought for extended periods of time. Okay, and for me right now, there are two things that I'll be watching. So the 20 moving average is the one, and you can see we're below it on the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is indicating that we could be moving to the downside. We do have this wedge formation right at the top here, but we have also broken through this range. Okay, now normally you would have people that would be sitting long here on the break with a stop below here. Now for me, that is massive. I mean, that's 1,100 point stop loss. So I'm not really interested in that kind of risk profile. But there are definitely traders that have gone in long here, have their stops below here, and are going to treat this as a range break to the upside. And I think that's the way you need to trade this. We need to find an area where we're going to get some support and take the long. Okay, now let's just go to the 4 hour. You can also see that we're coming into a squeeze here. Okay, now there are a few targets to the upside, and unfortunately, okay, there's a gap up there, which is always a magnet, and we also have this level pretty much on this inside tail here. Okay, so that's kind of, we could still stretch for this level here before having a pullback that will bring the oscillators down to the downside. So I think that to me is kind of what's happening, is we're going to consolidate some more and then move to the upside. So let's just get to the open range breakout that we had yesterday. And you can already see the chaos that delivered. Okay, so I'm just going to go down to 12 minutes for this, just to run through this example. So if you wanted to trade the open range down to the downside, this candle here, the break of the range, would have been an indication that we have some downside movement happening. But if you have a look what happened, it basically bounced up and bounced back up. Now, I think what you need to do is always take into cognize the 20 moving average. And I keep talking about the 20, but you can see how important it is. So we bounced down, we did break the closing range, but we were bouncing off a 20 moving average and the 40 basically. So this is probably an indication to say, well, hang on a second, there is a pullback. Wait for the pullback to play out before we get in. And then what you'll see is that we had this massive break to the upside. So the size of the break was big. I mean, you wouldn't have been able to get in on this trade, but on the rebound, you definitely would have been able to get in. Okay, so you could have said, well, this is null and void. We bounced off a moving average. We have had a break to the upside. So this pattern here, this inside bar pattern here, would have been your signal. It's an inside bar pattern off a level, long, and I'm looking for my breakout target up there. And you can see how we hit the breakout target, consolidated, and then fell off straight away. Okay, so the open range breakout did play out, which is another day that it's played out pretty well. And I think what we want to do now is just move the breakout to here. Okay, now notice I didn't even adjust the size of the range, and this often happens. Okay, it often happens that the closing range is the same on every day. Okay, so we have pretty much the same size of the range, and now what we're waiting for is a break either way. Now, we are below the 20 at the moment. Okay, we are below the 20 on the 12 minute. So we are bouncing off the 200 though. The bottom of the range is the 200 moving average. So this could be a pretty interesting scenario. We could have a little bounce to the top and then move to the downside, or this could be a proper bounce to the upside. And that would basically turn what we've seen here, let's get my channel. Over there. And you can see we have a pretty much a sideways channel that is formed. Okay. So, yeah, so I think for me, still looking for a move to the upside, possibly from here. I don't actually think we're going to get an entry lower down. And the reason I say that is we are on 61.8 retracement of this move to the upside. Okay, so if I extend that slightly, so we've had a pretty strong move from here. So that was a 1,000-point move, and we've now retraced basically 600 points. And to me, this is a retracement to continue the break of this range. Okay, now the range break could be seen as there, okay, or it could be seen as there. To me, in my eyes, they're both targets. Okay, now the measured move I'm looking for is from here. Let's be conservative, take it to that level there, and take it to there. Okay, and I'll go to the daily so you can see. Okay, so the breakout target or the measured move would be pretty much above this level here. Somehow doubt that maybe in the long run, but I think the first area of profit taking is going to be pretty much here. Okay, so yeah, so that's my take for the day. It's really, I'm looking for longs, and looking for longs in the level that we're at, or alternatively at the bottom of this range again. But this 200 moving average on the hour and on the 30 minutes and on the 12 minutes is going to hold up price as it has here. Okay, and this is a reversal pattern as well that we closed off with. Anyway, guys, so that's my take. Looking for longs, and targets are really going to be the sort of the previous high here, and then this high up here. Okay, whether we get there in a day is debatable. Let's just see how far it is. Not impossible the way the Aussie's been behaving, but that would be my second target. First target would definitely be this level here. Okay, here we go, guys. Hope it helps. Stay safe, enjoy the day, and I'll catch you later. Cheers, man.